Hello everyone, I once again welcome you to for my series of lectures that is Understanding Pharmaceutical Science with Dr. Hariharan. So today we are going to discuss about the production of diphtheria toxoid. So first we will understand what is meant by a toxoid. So toxoids are generally used as a vaccine because you see the vaccines, the purpose of the vaccine is to stimulate the antibodies effective against the antigens. So generally when I talk about vaccine, we think that it is a bacterial or viral killed or attenuated preparation. As a whole organism or a part of an organism, we inject to stimulate the antibodies. So whereas in the toxoid, it is similar to vaccine. Instead of this bacteria or virus given as antigen, in this case we give toxin as an antigen because the toxin is the major issue in the infection rather than the microorganism itself. So that's why we can tell that toxoid can be used as a vaccine. So if I precisely tell that how the toxoid, why we call this as a toxoid is that this is prepared by incubating the toxin. Generally the bacteria can excrete some toxic chemical compounds outside that we call as an exotoxin. So by incubating this toxin with a formalin solution, that is by treating with formaldehyde, what happened is this: the toxin will loses its toxic property, but the preparation maintains the antigenic property. Very precisely I can tell that as an immunogenic property. So this type of biological preparations we call as toxoid. So if I administer this toxoid to a person, what happens is against this toxin the antibodies will get stimulated. So once he encounters the bacterial infection which produces this exotoxin, he will be get safe from that infection, prevention from that infection. So this is about the toxoid. So in this lecture we are going to discuss about the diphtheria toxoid. So in diphtheria toxoid, it is nothing but it is a preparation, toxoid preparation produced from the exotoxin of a suitable strain of the Corynebacterium diphtheriae. So the Corynebacterium diphtheria will excrete some toxin outside itself which is called as exotoxin, which is responsible for the infection and the other symptoms caused to the patients. So the toxin which has been excreted is neutralized and it is administered as a vaccine we call as a diphtheria toxoid. So if you see the preparation of the diphtheria toxoid, so it generally includes the following four major steps. So the first step is the preparation of the toxin. So first we have to get the toxin. So next this toxin can get converted into a toxoid. So the third step is currently we are preparing the other forms of toxoid, and finally this toxoid which is a purified in nature can be given as a triple antigen or quadruple antigen as an prophylactic purposes, as a combined prophylactics. So let us understand one by one. The first is the preparation of the toxin. So first what we will do is we take a suitable strain of the Corynebacterium diphtheriae. So it is grown in a broth medium, maybe a synthetic medium, a semi-synthetic medium or a complex media. But the media should not contain any horse proteins. So that means it does not contain any horse muscle. So what happens is this horse protein sometimes causes sensitization, can lead to hypersensitivity reaction to some individuals. So we will take this Corynebacterium and it is grown in a particular broth medium, optimum broth medium, and we will provide an optimum growth condition that is needed for the growth of the bacteria, that is an optimum temperature, pH and the oxygen requirement. So we continue the growth until it produces the sufficient concentration of the toxin. So once the organism produces the sufficient concentration of toxin, in this case what happens is the Corynebacterium diphtheriae releases the toxin outside. So this is called as an exotoxin. So once it releases the toxin outside, the toxin will be present in the filtrate, that is in the liquid part of the medium. So the next step what we are doing is, after getting this enough toxin, we will filtrate it. So once we do the filtration with the help of a paper pulp or a fibrous pad or a ceramic candle, the biomass of the bacteria will be retained in the filter cake as a filter cake, and we get the liquid pot, the filtrate, in which the exotoxin will be present. So we, after getting this exotoxin into the filtrate, the next step is the conversion of this toxin into a toxoid. So I have already told you that so converting the toxin into a toxoid is a very simple step. We will take the filtrate, we will incubate this filtrate along with the formalin solution, that is the formaldehyde solution, at an optimum temperature, that is around 37 degree, for about 2 to 3 weeks, or until it loses its toxic property. So we incubate until the toxic property of this toxin is get neutralized, and only it contains the immunogenic characteristics. So after that, what we will do is this preparation we got, it is generally we called as a formal toxoid. So initially this one, without any purification, we used to administer to the patients directly for many years. So we call this otherwise as an anatoxin. So the formal toxoid can be also called as anatoxin. But nowadays the formal toxoid is available in purer form, very pure form we are getting. So if you see the third step, that is the preparation in other form of toxoids. So these other forms are much more or less in very much purer form, because this pure form has reduces the dosage regimen of this diphtheria toxoid also. So diphtheria toxoid is currently available in 4 forms. If you see one by one, first is the toxoid antitoxin flocules. This is also called as TAF. Second is the alum precipitated toxoid, that is we called as APT. The third is the purified toxoid aluminum phosphate, PTAP. And the final one is the purified diphtheria formal toxoid combined prophylactic. So if you see one by one, the first one is the toxoid antitoxin flocules. That means this preparation is a combination of two things, that is the diphtheria toxoid and diphtheria antitoxin, which is combined to that to form a flocule. So this preparation contains the suitable amount of toxoid and a suitable amount of antitoxin, which is neutralized, which is joined together and maintained until it produces the flocules. So these flocules have a necessary antigenic activity, but it is free from the contamination from the broth constituents as well as metabolites produced during the growth of the bacteria. So the next, if you see that, whereas in spite of this is acts as a good antigen, still when compared to other preparation, it is a weak antigen. So this antitoxin flocules need to be administered in 3 doses, whereas the other formulations which we are going to listen later on needs only 2 doses. So this TAF is generally injected. So once it is injected into the patient's body, this toxoid antitoxin flocule will get disassociated, so the antitoxin will be released. So antitoxin are naturally an antibody in nature, so it neutralizes the toxins present in the patient. The toxoid will stimulate the antibodies, thereby the further protection of the individual can happen. So actually if you see the toxoid antitoxin flocules, it provides both the type of immunity. An active immunity is by the toxoid by stimulating the antibodies, whereas the passive immunity is provided by the antitoxin, which is an antibody preparation which neutralizes the toxin. So this has been used very effectively, but the problem with this one is that this antitoxin is generally prepared from an horse. So it generally prepared from the horse serum, so it generally causes an presence of horse proteins, which I have already told you, it can stimulate sensitize certain individuals. That means it causes some hypersensitivity reaction to some individuals. So if you see the preparation of this toxoid antitoxin flocule, so the first one, what we do is we take 80 units of antitoxin and 100 units of toxoid. So we will mix together. So during this mixing, since the toxoid is an toxin, is an antigen, whereas the antitoxin is an antibody, so it leads to certain neutralization. So it is kept in an optimum condition for about 3 weeks. So during these 3 weeks, it gets neutralized and slowly settles down into the liquid medium, forming the floccules. So after that, what we will do is the floccules get settled at the bottom, the supernatant is get discarded, and the floccules is washed with saline, normal saline and isotonic solution, until the saline after washing becomes colorless. So then finally it is resuspended into a saline containing a bactericidal agent. So this is administered as an vaccine. So this diphtheria toxoid, that is the toxoid antitoxin floccules, will generally need 3 doses. When compared to other formulations. The second one is the alum precipitated toxoid, in short form we can call as APT. So because of this needed 3 dose for this toxoid antitoxin floccules, so which is less antigenic in nature, so we need a preparation with increased antigenic property. So this increased antigenic property can be produced in such a manner that if I apply a vaccine at the particular place, from the site of injection it should behave like a depot and it slowly releases the antigens. So if it slowly releases this antigen, so what happens is a development to a prolonged immunity to that patient. This leads to the development of alum precipitated toxoid. So if we see the preparation of alum precipitated toxoid, so first step is we will produce a high quality of formal toxoid. So this high quality of formal toxoid is treated with charcoal. So what this charcoal will do is it is a good absorbent. It absorbs the coloring matter and impurities. So the preparation gets further purified. Then it is filtered. So once I filtered, the charcoal gets retained into the filter paper and the filtrate with clear formal toxoid, it gets collected. Then it is treated with alum. With a suitable concentration of alum, it is treated. So this alum reacts with bicarbonate, phosphates and protein impurities, and finally it is precipitated as aluminum hydroxide or aluminum phosphate. So from this one, the toxoid is get absorbed on this mineral carrier, that is the aluminum hydroxide or aluminum phosphate carrier. So this can be further washed and finally suspended in a saline with a bactericide. So since the toxoid is present in the mineral carrier, this can work as a depot into the tissue and slowly releases this toxoid. So this toxoid will prolong time, it can produce the antibody. So that's why when compared to toxoid antitoxin floccules, this only needs 2 doses to produce the same effectivity. So if you see the advantage of this one, I have told it that alum precipitated toxoid generally produces a higher antibody than both the formal toxoid and the toxoid antitoxin floccules. So we need only 2 doses. So the third one is the purified toxoid aluminum phosphate. In short form we call as PTAP. So it is the much purer form of the toxoid compared to alum precipitated toxoid because of the following reasons. If you see, the first one is that in this we use a semi-synthetic medium instead of the complex media we used for the preparation of the formal toxoid. So it was used for the preparation of toxin, this semi-synthetic medium. This generally eliminates all the non-specific material which is present in the media, so there is no need for any purification is needed. The second thing is the charcoal is used in the alum precipitated toxoid for the removal of coloring matter, phosphates and proteins. So in this case we use the magnesium hydroxide which precipitates the color, phosphate and proteins, and finally ammonium sulfate and cadmium chloride is used for the protein precipitation. So this finally produces a depot formation similar to alum precipitated phosphate. So the major difference, if you see that the aluminum phosphate is which is produced in the alum precipitated toxide is replaced with aluminum hydroxide gel in the purified toxide aluminum hydroxide. So this is the much purer form of the diphtheria toxide. And the final one is the purified diphtheria formal toxide in combined prophylactic. So why we have to make this preparation? If you see that during the first year of the children, we have to administer many infectious agent as an immunization program. So generally this diphtheria toxide can be given as a triple antigen or quadruple antigen. So generally what we will do is during the first year of the children, we immunize with certain quadruple antigen or triple antigen like diphtheria tetanus pertussis, that is DPT, otherwise diphtheria tetanus pertussis and poliomyelitis as a quadruple antigen. So by this one, what happened is the diphtheria toxoid is comfortably and successfully mixed with other antigenic preparation and has an ability to produce the same quantity of antibodies once it is administered alone also. So this why we can generally prefer this, the fourth preparation, that is the purified diphtheria formal toxide is to administer as a triple antigen or quadruple antigen. So this is all about the production of the diphtheria toxoid. So I think in my future lectures you surely understand about the tetanus toxoid and other viral vaccines also. So thank you very much. Bye.